Welcome to Profit Channels. This is my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor and I don't give financial advice. Please consider this video entertainment. Today I'm talking about Liberty Energy, LBRT. It's $10.95 right now. This is September 20th. It's a Saturday. We got a 2.88% dividend yield. Price to earnings 8.54. If we look at quarterly, we've got steady income. Annually, a little bit of a downtrend. Hydraulic fracturing services is what they do. And if we look at them annually, decent cash flow, increasing debt. But if you look here, this long-term debt is very reasonable. If I look at their income statement, so we've been making $1 billion in revenue plus quarterly, and then we've dropped down below. But quarter 4, 2024, quarter 1, 2025, quarter 2. So the last 3 quarters, our revenue has been going up. The last 3 quarters, our gross profit has been going up. Our last 3 quarters, our operating income is going up. But then here on our pre-tax, our non-operating income in quarter 1, 2025 was down compared to the quarters on either side. So our pre-tax income takes a hit. It last 2 quarters ago, but quarter 2, 2025 is back up. So we'll see that on the bottom line, the net income. But generally, this is up, so that looks positive. Cash flow from operating activities is not looking quite as good. So we're down quarter over quarter. I don't like to see that. If we look at the statistics here, we've been up as high as 178 million shares, but now we're down to 161. So generally lower, which I like to see. So shares being bought back, although we are up a little bit currently, but not by much. All right, price to earnings ratio has been going down for a few quarters, so that looks good. Price to sales has been going down, so it's been getting cheaper. And the same thing with the price to cash flow. Unfortunately, our return on assets has also been going down quarter over quarter, return on equity and return on capital. But our net margin has been going up, again, down in Q1 2025, but this is as good as it's been since Q2 2024. Not bad. Our forecast is 13 analysts, 4 strong buy, 1 buy, 8 hold. So anywhere from minus 8% to plus 73% versus the S&P 500. Here is a channel we're in. We could go lower. There's a nice midpoint line here. We are going against this trend line. But if I say, let's say the channel is something like this, this also gives us a pretty good midpoint line. So very on the fence here. Here we are on our weekly with our moving averages, and this is the furthest we've been below the 200 period moving average since it was created. Let me get rid of our volume profiles. So this gap here is not quite as big as this gap here. So this is a new record, pretty pulled away. If I go into the daily, we're bumping up against the 50. We've got some gaps below us. And let's just jump into a 2-hour. And we've got our moving averages all gathered up. And so that usually means we're ready for a move. But we could come down and fill this gap before we go up. Back to the weekly. And turn off these moving averages. Let's look at our volume profiles. So we are below our volume profiles on the weekly. On the daily, we've got one of them above us, a longer term one, well above us, and we're right on these point of controls. All right. And back to the weekly, we've got a giant channel like this. This midpoint line doesn't do me much good, so the top's pretty, but the midpoint line's just not good enough. So maybe I draw something like this. Now here we have a nice midpoint line, and we're at the bottom of this channel. I could see we have a downward channel right here, where we are buttoned up against our midpoint line. And if okay. So we got the bottom of this channel, and we got this midpoint line. I could say I have a channel, so we did have this one, but we could also have this one where we're, getting ready, trying to break out of this channel here. And finally, you already did that one, yeah. So we've got these different channels that all have us trying to move up. We haven't broken them yet, and we're coming off the bottom. So I go to the weekly, and I do a retracement from this bottom to the top, bottom, top. We are right at the 382. The 236 looks good. I go to the daily, and let's get in here. So I'm retracing from this bottom to the top, and then we'll expand this. And it's pretty good. The 0.5 is real nice. The 618 is in this gap, and it just seems to be in the middle of a lot of action. I like the 236. I like this 382. And so, obviously we're going from, this is a full retracement. So we've almost got down to 1272. Again, we have this gap. If I close this up, and on this daily, if I retrace from the bottom right here to the, extension to the top, and I'm saying the bottom, if we put the bottom down here in this gap, this lines up really nice. And if I put on our volume profile, you can see this point of control is right here on our Fibonacci. Let's change this a little bit. 14, it's easier to read. All right, so right here are the two. These lines in here cut through pretty decently. The 272s in the gap. There's a 618. So I kind of like this one. If I back out to a weekly, and again, let's do the full Monty. This bottom down here again. This 236 is real nice. This 382. And again, this has us at the bottom being right here. So I think we could come back down here is what I'm looking for. All right. Our parabolic SAR and super trend on the weekly are bearish. Our RSI has got a downward trend, and maybe we're going to start trying to make our way up. MACD is crossed over a little bit, maybe crossing back, but in bullish or bearish territory. Here we are. Stochastic is trying to move up. On the daily, we've got mixed signals up here. Our RSI average is below, and it's looking a little bearish at the moment. Everything's pretty, stochastic is up, but everything else is looking very medium. Now, if I go to our Bollinger Band RSI strategy, and this is the weekly, we're near the bottom of our Bollinger Band, not all the way. Cash flow is trending down. Squeeze momentum was getting more bullish, but it looks like it's turning a little bearish at the moment. And our ADX is saying no trend. If I go to the daily, we are just cutting sideways in our Bollinger Band from outside to in. Money flowing. Everything's a little bearish. Let's just jump down here to the 2 hour for fun. Yeah, well, now we're starting to have money flow moving up. But everything else is, I just want to see what happens next week. So this is a firm maybe for me. Let me jump this one down into the 2 hour. Yeah, this is RSI is looking a little bearish. We got mixed signals up here. Yeah. So Liberty, I gotta see it break this trend here before I am interested. All right. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll talk to you later.